perhaps it is true that the bed is too crowded. I think I'll try and find somewhere else to sleep.
But it's a tricky one. Where will he find somewhere just right? Stand by for another Old Bear story.
Saving money is important, but so is Rory's happiness. I've always used Pampers, but I tried a lower price nappy. We were playing his favourite game, but Rory got cranky. His bottom was wet and sticky. I was annoyed because I thought it might have been better value.
Only Pampers Baby Dry has this amazing baby dry layer that lets wetness right through and keeps it away from baby's skin.
I felt it was a false economy, so I went back to Pampers. I've been working in a nursery for over 9 years, and I know that a happy baby has a dry bottom.
Pampers Baby Dry, the driest Pampers ever for drier, happier babies.
Hey, Mr. Lemming. Take it easy. Don't you know if you find my picture in your Cadbury's caramel wrapper, you'll win one of 1,000 amazing compact Nikon cameras. Take it easy with new, smoother Cadbury's caramel.
A big spaceship came to visit one day. They beamed up the day. And soon right away, so I put the Cocoa Puffs on the roof of our shack. When they saw that yellow box, they zoomed right back. Oh yeah, as part of a nutritious breakfast, the crisp chocolatey bubbles taste magic. Even turn the milk chocolatey. So...
Okay, Doom, what's coming up? Oh, it's the very loveliest show on TV, Old Bear Stories. And the crowd go wild for Avenger Penguins when Marlon gets more than he bargained for after a blind date. Then we serve up new drama in Just Us. Now, here's Old Bear.
Been in my storeroom for ages.
Well, you could be past its best.
Bear, we'll all gather round. Dear old bear, sit in your face. All around, dear old bear.
Old Bear woke with a bump when something hit him on the head. "Don't do that," he said crossly. And then he opened his eyes and found he was talking to the floor. "Oh, well, I wonder how I got down here," he muttered, rubbing his head with his paw. "You fell out of bed," said a voice above him. Looking up, he saw a row of faces staring down at him. Little Bear, Bramwell Brown, Rabbit, and Duck. "If you ask me," said Duck, "there are too many animals in this bed. It's overcrowded." "Well, it isn't too bad now," said Little Bear. "Not now that Old Bear has gone." "But I haven't gone," protested Old Bear. "Well, I didn't mean to go. I just fell." "If a few more people happened to just fall," said Rabbit, "the others would be able to spread out." "Are you hurt?" asked Bramwell Brown. "Well, I did bump my head," said Old Bear, glad that somebody cared enough to ask. Bramwell Brown climbed down to examine Old Bear's head. It looks all right, but I'd better bandage it anyway, just to be sure." Little Bear and Rabbit wanted to help too, so they made their way down to join Bramwell and Old Bear. Rabbit fetched a big plain handkerchief, and Little Bear managed to find a safety pin that wasn't already holding something together. Then they bandaged their old friend's head with the handkerchief and fastened it very carefully with the pin. "Is that better?" asked Bramwell Brown kindly. "Yes, thank you," said Old Bear. "You know, perhaps it is true that the bed is too crowded. I think I'll try and find somewhere else to sleep." "We could all look for somewhere else," said Little Bear, getting quite excited at the idea. "It would be nice to have a change." "Wait for me," grumbled Duck, who was still on the bed. He wasn't very good at climbing down drawers. "Watch out, everyone!" called Rabbit, as Duck, who wasn't really very good at flying either, crash-landed in front of them. Old Bear and Bramwell helped Duck to his feet, and then they all set off to find a new place to sleep. "I suppose I could sleep in my deck chair," said Old Bear, lowering himself in and looking very relaxed. "Me too," said Little Bear, clambering in on top of him. The deck chair gave a big creak and collapsed. Duck had found an upside-down umbrella. "This is a really good nest shape," he said to himself. "Though these metal bits aren't very comfortable," he added. "They get tangled up in your feet." He was hanging onto the handle while he tried to untangle himself, when suddenly the umbrella snapped shut and he disappeared into its folds. Luckily, Old Bear and Little Bear weren't far away. With a good deal of tugging and pulling, they managed to get the umbrella open again. "Thank you," said Duck, flapping his wings to see if they still worked. "I think I shall look for something a little more restful." Bramwell, Brown and Rabbit were over by an open drawer. "This looks really good," shouted Rabbit to the others. "It's full of socks." "They're nice and soft," said Bramwell Brown, pulling one on as a nightcap. "I could sleep in here very comfortably." "So could I," said Little Bear, wriggling into one as a sleeping bag. "And what would happen if someone shut the drawer?" asked Duck. "Oh dear, I hadn't thought of that," said Rabbit, jumping out of the drawer as fast as possible, closely followed by the others. "I wouldn't want to be stuck in there forever." "No, drawers are not a very good idea," agreed Bramwell Brown. "We shall have to look for somewhere else." Meanwhile, over by the sofa, Old Bear had been busy pulling down cushions and piling them in a great heap on the floor. "Come on, everyone," he called from the top. "Try this." The cushions were so bouncy that it made them hard to climb up. Eventually, they were all balanced on the top. But the cushions wouldn't stay still, and soon Old Bear found himself on the floor once more. "Oh, my poor head," he said, rubbing his bandaged bump. "I'm sure I keep bumping my head just because it's already been bumped. I'm going to take off the bandage." "We could use that handkerchief as a hammock," said Little Bear, picking it up and spreading it out on the floor. "Hammocks are really good for sleeping in. Sailors sleep in them in ships." Old Bear and Bramwell thought the idea sounded promising, so they pushed 2 chairs together. Then they helped Little Bear tie the handkerchief to the chair legs with a piece of string. Rabbit took a run at it and jumped straight in. "Ha! It's lovely," he called down to the others. "Why don't you get in?" "I will," squeaked Little Bear, jumping up and down. Rabbit leaned over the side to help Little Bear up, but he fell out, nearly landing on top of Duck. "Dangerous things, hammocks," said Duck, moving further away. "I'll get in first," said Little Bear. "You can give me a leg up, then Rabbit can jump in, and then we'll pull you up." "I don't think you'll fit in, Bramwell. You and Old Bear had better find a tablecloth or something and make your own hammock." Leaving the others to follow Little Bear's plan, Old Bear and Bramwell set off in the direction of the kitchen. Old Bear remembered that he'd seen a very comfortable-looking basket in the kitchen. It was lined with straw and used to keep eggs in. With a bit of a struggle, the 2 friends managed to climb onto the table, where Bramwell spied a huge bowl of fruit. While Old Bear made his way over to the egg basket, Bramwell went to have a closer look at what he'd found. "I think this would be a good place to sleep, except it's full of fruit," he said. "You could eat some of it," said Old Bear, who had clambered into the egg basket. He was really more worried about what to do with the 5 eggs that shared the basket with him. However he arranged himself, he still seemed to find them under his paws. "It would be all right if I was a chicken," he said to Bramwell, "but as I'm a bear, I'm not used to sharing my bed with 5 eggs. Bramwell said nothing. He was too busy trying to eat all the fruit in his bowl to make more room for himself. "I suppose we could come and sit in here for a change," he said, "especially when we're hungry. But I don't think we could really sleep here. It's too round. All our paws would get in a muddle in the middle." It was then that they heard a loud crash. "Oh no, what's happened now?" said Bramwell, and they rushed back to the playroom. There they found their 3 friends, not in, but under the hammock. "It wasn't strong enough for all of us," said Rabbit. "We fell out." Old Bear looked at the heap of toys. "Do you know," he said, "I think our bed was the safest place after all. But I've an idea how we can make more room." And so that night, tucked up together in their usual place, were Rabbit, Duck, and Little Bear. But down at the other end of the bed, tucked in the other way round, so their paws almost met in the middle, were Old Bear and Bramwell Brown. They all looked very comfortable and very safe.